Hey everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 3 of BattleBots, which was yesterday. I'm here with Aren, obviously, and we just wanted to talk you through our fight, do a little post-match debrief, and at the end of the video, Aren will be weighing in on the beta versus rotator drama, so you'll want to stick around for that. So just to kick us off, Aren, going into the match and sort of in the first half, how are you feeling and how are things going?
Yeah, we were pretty stoked to be given such a solid robot as Valkyrie right off the bat. So we felt pretty good about it with regards to being a really, really durable robot. So our setup going into it, as you can tell, was a big front wedge and go to town. Yeah, and then the fight unfolded for the most part how I expected, but I really wasn't hoping for the weapon to get stuck at the back. If I take it, some people noticed that. We were trying to use it, we just couldn't. And then, yeah, surprise ending too early. That definitely bummed us out a bit, but we're pretty happy with the performance right out of the gate. And that's the brief summary for that for that fight.
Yeah, I think I noticed during the match, I think the announcers were saying that we weren't using our primary weapon, but our weapon really has two key components. So it's a little hard to split up because we have both that spinning disc and the punch. So, what does it mean when one half is working but the other isn't? Anyhow, so why don't you?
Yeah, so for that one, the reason why I got stuck at the back is one of the biggest issues with the robot last year is maintenance. In order to get the carriage in and out of the robot to inspect the motor and internal workings of it, you had to pretty much take the entire robot apart. So the sliding assembly.
Why don't we? Oh, you there? Looks like Aaron's having headphones problems. Did your headphones die?
No, it's just a touchpad and I touched it and it muted me.
All right. Well, I think we actually have a video of this or a picture that I can share on our screen here.
All right, I'm good now. But yeah, so we have a set of replacement keys at the back of the rails to be able to pull those out and pull the weapon out without having to tear everything apart. And we also put them all the way at the back because we weren't expecting to be hitting a lot of people back there. But when you ram full speed into Valkyrie, who's a big horizontal spinner, robot kicks up, lands on top of you, weapon hits upwards into them, makes those keys sad. So one of those first impacts with Valkyrie actually locked our weapon at the back of travel. The funny thing is, like, despite that, we still managed to hit them more with the weapon than we did other robots most of last season. So that's a pro, but that's more of a compliment to the drivetrain and armor configuration. We were able to actually manufacture some parts on site to beef this up for future matches, but that's why it was locked at the back. We were trying to punch. We were not trying to just drive around and pull a beta for the rest of the fight.
Hey, whoa. So anyhow, cool. So I think after the fight and towards the end, do you want to talk about sort of like what happened, what the damage was, and why we ended up stopped? I think we have some pictures here as well.
Yeah, so the damage to the robot gets covered by one, the fist got exploded, which we completely expected. They're foam-filled rubber fists with flamethrower bits attached. The flamethrower was not on there because the electronics for it weren't quite done, and I don't really want to put a half-tested electronic system for a flamethrower in a robot. Seems like a bad call. And then after they got blown up, some of the components for the flamethrower that were on there still got wrapped and stuck up underneath us. So we actually got beached on them during the fight. And I'm pretty sure Valkyrie actually came behind and cleared them out for us, which was convenient. So lots of damage to the fists, and then the carriage getting stuck back. But aside from that, everything was fine until at 2 minutes 30 or whatever in the match, where we just stopped moving. We had a lot of practice. We knew a lot, but still ended up with some battery problems in our first match. You can't get out of everything without growing pains, and this is first match for this revision of the robot. Had some issues, and batteries is why we died at the end. We weren't beached on anything. We weren't stuck, just out of power.
Right. So seems like our first match went really well. We had some minor learnings here and there that we've improved, and we're really excited for our other matches coming up in the future. So now that we've sort of done our post-fight debrief, what everybody's been waiting for, Aren, what are your thoughts on the rotator versus beta drama?
Everyone's been waiting for it. That one's a really interesting one. Like I'm very much a fan of of robots trying to push the technological envelope, and I don't usually consider horizontal or vertical spinners to ever really be doing that. We are a vertical spinner. We're just an annoying one as far as like for us to build it. There is additional complexity, which has pros and cons. So far, we've found most of the cons, looking for some of the pros. So watching the rotator beta fight, Beta's weapon is set up such that you really do need to wait till things are just right. They put on I know they put on the plastic hammerhead such that if ever got hit, it wouldn't blow up the arm, and that's very much a conscious decision from a spare parts perspective, as far as I know how many arms they had. So the concept of waiting for a good hit is very much you do have to wait for it, or otherwise they could have lost the hammerhead in the first hit and then had to do that the rest of the entire time. But from the points perspective, I can see arguments either way, but I'd lean towards control and aggression went to beta, because I don't think at any point in time Rotator really drove anywhere. They took off the hammerhead, but that was not an intentional move. That was a completely chaotic flying through the air move. So yeah, I can see a split decision, and I could see that going either way. I'm kind of okay with it not going towards the spinner.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you, Aren, for your opinion. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to be doing more of these in the future after our fights. And if you all have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and we will definitely answer them. Cool. Thank you.
Thanks.